Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
Welcome, everyone, to this episode of Touched and Empowered. I'm Katie, here with Ace, as always. And other than today being on the day we're recording, being Friday the 13th, I don't know what else is going on. What about you?
Oh, that's funny. So here in LA, I got Juneteenth coming up. I got June 14th coming up, which is one of the biggest protests that's happening in the United States tomorrow. Woohoo!
That's true. I actually found out there's some going to be in my neck of the woods.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there's a lot. Essentially, yeah, a lot. There's a lot. June 13th, Friday the 13th. I thought there would be more bad luck. I'm okay with that. There's not, by the way.
Yes.
I'm really grateful that there isn't.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, universe. Thank you. Which I think brings us to the next question.
Yeah, but just be mindful that there's lots of stuff going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's your question today?
So I had 3 questions that came to me before we hopped on today. So we're going to play with them. Number 1, yay. What are 10 things we are grateful for?
Individually?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, there's always the usual thing. I am very grateful to be a mom because my son Austin is absolutely awesome. Grateful to have a roof over my head, grateful to have money to pay for all of my expenses at the time, this moment. I am grateful that I get to go visit one of my sisters in a week and a half. I'm grateful that my other sister is doing better. I'm grateful that things that used to really bother me don't bother me much anymore because they're not important. I'm grateful that I've been able to, yes, midnight, thank you, that I've been able to recognize things that I thought were really important aren't important, so I don't have to waste my time, talent, and treasure on them. And I'm grateful that I'm learning more and more about who I am as an individual versus having the labels of wife, daughter, mom, teacher, tech support, whatever. But relearning who Katie is always a fun topic. I don't know if that's it, but that's pretty close. I went through them pretty quick.
That's great. No, it's awesome. I'm grateful for the spiritual mirror that I have called the Gohonzon for my Buddhist practice. Really, really grateful for that because, oh my goodness, I don't know what I would do if I didn't have it. I feel like it helps with everything, emotional regulation, mental clarity, and even just being in the rhythm of life and allowing the synchronicities to flow. So that oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for. 2, I'm grateful for my parents because I love them.
I love mine too.
Yeah, they also
they're up there.
Yeah, I mean, they have the unconditional love to be like, oh, my daughter, I love her. And I do the same back. So I appreciate it a lot. Parents have always been very supportive, even if, families get into fights, they're still supportive and they're still there when I need them. So I'm really grateful for that. Grateful for you, Katie.
I'm grateful for you too, Ace.
Thank you. Yeah, Katie, we've been on a journey. And I feel like a lot of what we do is just a lot of faith. A lot of like, okay, we've established a good communicative relationship that respects both boundaries, allows us to flourish, etc. Grateful for my dog. I love her so much. So much. so much. I'm grateful that I have a home in LA right now, because after this year, I mean, the first forest fire, 7, you know, you don't, but not many
You
people,
don't know.
you don't know, not many people did or do. They're still fighting to find the best place for them. I'm so happy and grateful that I still have my sanity, because it's not just the fires, it's the ice raids that are 10 miles away. It's the yeah, the fires. Fires put a lot up there. There's a current fire right now, actually.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, LA is like one of those places where I'm like, oh, you know, the entire country is watching us overcome these obstacles and adversities as they continuously hit us. I'm just glad there wasn't like a hurricane this year.
It's true.
Yeah, so I'm very happy and grateful that right now the earthquakes are at bay.
Mhm.
I'm very happy and grateful that we have this retreat that we're building towards, because that year goal, I just remembered this morning how wonderful that is, because that means having that goal 1 year out also means building different goals and smaller goals that also accumulate towards that goal and helps me expand other areas of my life. So I've been very grateful for that. That's 5, just like extending them. 6, I'm so happy and grateful for these very random yet lovely invitations to heal my relationship patterns. I literally went to this thing called the Love Lab Summit this week, which by the way was awesome. If you need to check it out, if you're interested in either enhancing your relationship, getting into a relationship and leaving the past behind you, all that fun stuff, that is called the Love Lab Summit.com, I believe. Love Lab Summit, right? I
Oh
think I
no,
said,
we'll put a note and look for it and put it in the show notes.
oh yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah, the Love Lab. It's hosted by Elizabeth Gaines, and Marie Miller, one of our close friends, also invited me to that. So that was really interesting. So I'm very happy and grateful for that. I'm super grateful for the amount of healing that I did this week.
Mhm.
I kind of feel like starting Monday, we put me in a blender and just shot me straight into a tornado, and then decided to pass by a gas station in the tornado, so it all just blew up all together, and I'm right here with you. So I'm actually really excited to see what happens after I'm like rested, centered, and completely like, oh, that was why we transformed so much in 1 week. I literally went through, I tried hot day for the first time. Very happy and grateful I got to try that.
Yep.
Just didn't expect to throw up 5 times. So happy and grateful to we did an energy clearing. I think I've cleared almost every other day this week. People.
Wow.
It's good practice. So I'm very grateful for that. Had an activation, a theta healing.
A lot of different things. And midnight as well.
Midnight. Reiki massage. I was very grateful. Should it? I'm very grateful. I'm just like, where's my brain? So the gratitude, the reason why I asked, 1 is to help me ground a little bit, but 2, it's also just a nice way to elevate the frequency of anything. Once you write down 10 questions, 10 reasons to be grateful, your energy does uplift and center. So I'm so grateful that I was able to propose this idea, and that my dog is barking, but not barking as much.
That's true. And midnight agrees because the volume dropped on that last bark.
That's my baby. Come here, my love. Yeah.
I do agree. Finding or reminding ourselves to express gratitude for things. And I know I went very quickly through mine, but because there's been so much, it's hard to describe. And there are things that, like the things I shared, I am able to share. There are other things I'm grateful for that are not available to be shared with others at this particular moment in time. But I can still write those down in my journal. I can still put those in my notes on my phone so I can see what I'm grateful for, to remind me when I have a day that is rough. As all my phones and devices go off with notifications, I apologize for that.
Oh, no, it's okay. I didn't hear it, but I think
Oh.
you said it all. You're like, ding, 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 ding.
Yep.
That's
Ignoring all the people trying to get in contact with me at this particular moment in time, because priorities and boundaries.
yes. And gratefully, this podcast allows us to be present.
Yes, very much so.
As much as I'm running around and stuff, but thank you. Yeah, I do my best to like sit. So I'm here. I'm grateful. Now let's go into the fun. I don't know if this is shadows. Do you think, would you consider this a shadow question?
Which one?
What is your pet peeve?
I think it does edge into shadow work, because normally our pet peeves lead or are connected to something that is a lot deeper.
Ah, okay. So it's a good way to reframe it. Interesting. So on that line of reframe, what is your current pet peeve? Because we have many.
We do have
I know.
many.
I know I have some funny ones, but yeah, go for it.
Well, the most recent pet peeve, I will say, is requesting information so I can complete a job, tech support wise. And instead of receiving the information I request, I get stuff completely unrelated, or I get only half of the information I requested. Or, oh, don't worry, you can figure it out. Of course I could figure it out. But I can't figure it out unless I know A, B, C, D. I need the pieces of the puzzle so I can put the puzzle together for you for finished project. I love that you have so much faith in my gifts and intuition and tech skills that I can pull your passwords out of the air. So yeah, that's my pet peeve.
Oh, let's throw it all out there, Katie. I'm not kidding. So this is good. So the fun. We'll come back to mine in a second, but this one, yeah. Number 3, just to follow up that. When it comes to your pet peeve, this current one, what is your internal reaction, which you just gave?
Which I just gave. That is very much my internal reaction. A lot of sarcasm.
That's perfectly fine. And what is your normal external response? Like, how do you?
Thank you for the information that you have sent me. However, I require the following information if I am to complete the task that you have requested me to do for you. And if you would like me to complete it in a timely manner without charging you additional funds, please send me this information.
Well done. Yeah, very professional. Very clear.
I'm really good at keeping the calm surface from that standpoint, and yelling and screaming behind the scenes where no one can see me. A wizard behind the curtain. Woo!
The wizard behind the curtain is the id of Katie.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Pay no attention to the wizard behind the curtain.
Pay no attention to the man in the, or the one man in the, whichever you identify as.
Whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's amazing that I've just found that there's been a lot of times where I understand that not everyone processes things the exact same way, just like nobody heals the exact same way. and that someone might not understand why I am asking for a particular piece of the puzzle, or in this case, password information.
Mm.
But I do take the time to explain that the reason I'm asking for this is so I can take care of it and you not have to sit on a Zoom call with me and share your screen and spend 45 minutes trying to follow my directions on how to do something when I can do it in about 15 by myself.
I'm curious, have I done this? I know I've done this maybe once.
But that's okay.
Was it more than once?
2 times.
I learned the second time. There you go. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I think this was when I was confused about PayPal.
Yes.
That was annoying. I didn't know. I was like, for whatever reason, I just couldn't focus. Like, I don't know if I needed hypnotherapy, but I just couldn't figure it out. And it was,
well, you also had other, and it's like with most people when it comes to technology, we have other stuff on our minds. We're thinking about deadlines. We're thinking about trying to get projects done.
Mhm.
The next person we want to speak to, we don't want to stress about something we don't understand. And I will admit, I don't know everything about technology.
PayPal. PayPal is one of the interest. Just so you know, folks, I'm just saying this out loud. Sorry to put you on blast, PayPal, but you are the most confusing network of wires to get people paid. I apologize. People sometimes like get held up for a month with money that's there that they can't even receive. Like when you work, you're amazing. When you don't,
I will devil's advocate on it. There are a lot of, because I see them in my email, so I don't know there's tons, but I know a lot of scams where people are sending documents that look like PayPal invoices
yeah.
and they're not.
Sorry, I
So it's a lot of due diligence and learning and trying to be patient with the technology and everything like that.
yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why we go to experts. We go to even not experts, but just somebody who knows more about something than we do.
And that was really like I've never felt so weirdly just not able to focus than with that PayPal thing. I was like, I normally can.
Well,
Sorry, just
it's okay. It was one of those that you were under a lot of, you had a lot of other things on your mind on that day.
Hmm.
So I knew that you were just not seeing something because you were preoccupied with something else. And that happens to all of us. We sometimes can't find our keys, which are sitting on the table directly in front of us because we're too busy thinking about the fact that we're going to be late getting to wherever we're going.
That's a fair way, yeah. Yeah. Funny enough, after I got that off my chest, I think Midnight fell asleep. She was like, wow, that was in you for a while.
Yep.
Now she can relax. So I'm like, oh, okay. Good stuff.
So now that you've asked me these questions, what's your current pet peeve?
When people like, gosh, I've been getting so irritated about this lately. And as you can tell, it's been built up.
Besides PayPal.
Besides PayPal. I appreciate you, PayPal. You do pay me, so thank you. When people indirectly, directly, subconsciously, consciously try to compete, that makes me so irritated because I can catch it and I'm like, I know what you're doing. Please stop. And then they don't get it. So they keep trying. Or a fun time is when they're like subconsciously just comparing. And we do that. We're naturally we're human. We can fall into the trap of comparison and then stay there and then go in the rabbit hole. And there was somebody mentioned to me about something about me being thin. and I saw their eyes just start glowing with envy. And I remember going,
Interesting.
I need, and then like it was weird because the rest of the day they were just being mean to me for no reason, just because they were, I guess they were inner demons or whatnot. There was that. Or when it comes down to work or career, then people try and belittle me based off of what I'm doing, where I'm going. What if I'm doing something, they minimize the value that it has in response to whatever I'm doing, if I'm in the room or whatnot, right? And then it gets so irritating that underneath it all, my heart is like becoming maleficent because it's tiny. You know, the Chinese torture method of like little paper cuts?
I've heard of it. I've experienced tons of paper cuts, so I can imagine.
It's like that. It's like somebody's mini jabs are doing these tiny paper cuts because I'm being vulnerable is the best word. I'm being transparent and I'm sharing what I'm doing my best to be honest, and then doing my best to be collaborative. And then people are like cutting it down. I know a lot of people in competitive environments, you know what I mean. It's like the passive aggression, it's the slights, it's the what else? The gaslighting when you're doing something.
Right.
It's the, oh, that's great. I'm doing this. You
It's
should
like
do this.
completely dismissing what it is that you're saying and just going on with what they think was the best option for everybody.
No. Like
Not
without
even that.
not even
Without
that.
that.
It's the it's the some I get it. Sometimes our unhealthy ego comes out in places where the healthy ego is growing,
Right.
right? So it's more of like trying to diminish your worth so that they can feel bigger.
Oh, okay.
It's that. And that. What was the next question?
When it comes to the pet peeve, what's the internal reaction versus normal external response?
I love the timer on that one.
Yep.
The internal reaction is, I will kill you. I will destroy everything that you believe and who you are and what you're doing. That because I've been so fed up. Like that's the internal me.
Right.
Please mind you folks, if you hear that, it's not that I'm gonna do that. It's just the it's like the little, it's not the little, it's like this you know that emoji, the dark purple emoji smiley
Yep.
face with the evil eyes
With the demon horns.
with the demon horns. It's that. It's my internal that's out. Go ahead. The next question.
That is the only other question.
No, what was the second part of that question? I'm sorry. I want to just follow.
Normal external response. So internal is demon. External is what?
Can I pull you aside? Let's have a conversation and make sure that this is aired out clearly. Why are you doing that? What is that? Are you conscious of it? No? Okay. Well, please stop. It hurts.
So calmly bringing it to someone's attention who might not be aware of it.
Right. And it's bringing, exactly. It's like, I want to feel safe in this path forward with you.
Right.
Let's communicate what this is. Let's find out what it really is. I'm not a therapist, but I want to make sure it's safe for both of us to move forward. Otherwise, one, you keep doing it, it hurts. If I don't stop you, demon thing does take over. It won't kill you, but you'll see it. So it's like, it's kind of one of those things for me where I'm like trying to win over my negative self in that moment to make sure that the more enlightened, resolved self comes forward. in that instance. Otherwise,
That makes sense.
yeah. Out of
You know,
curiosity, did you expect the I would?
I had a feeling that the quote unquote demon was the internal process, only because I've known you for so long and we've seen it in each other. Is the only way that I can describe it. So I knew that that was probably a part of it. Just
Yeah.
like you knew that I was expressing my internal earlier when I was making the sarcastic comment about needing someone's password.
I don't know if I was, it wasn't me on the password. I think it was me
No,
on something else. But yeah, it was just like the weird PayPal thing. But please,
Yeah.
yes,
it,
I understand.
it's learning that I think the main thing when it comes to our pet peeves is that we have someone that we can talk to and that we feel safe talking to in a safe space, judgment-free zone, whatever wording you want to use. So then we can process it, acknowledge it, and move on from it. Because the one thing that I've learned and that I've helped teach is that when we take those pet peeves and bottle them up, it's like adding fire underneath of a pressure cooker without a steam valve on top. And eventually that pot's going to explode. And
Yeah.
everyone around you is going to be receive collateral damage that you do not intend and that you do not mean.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's because that's happened to me a lot more than not.
I've been on both sides of that. I've received someone's explosion and I have exploded myself. And it's
Same.
not pretty because we end up saying things we don't mean because we're just so everything's so pent up. Everything, these tiny little pet peeves get blown out of proportion.
Yeah. And I normally feel like I felt awful a few times because I have a pretty high pain tolerance. Don't get me wrong. Kind of comes with the training of where I've worked. But I think when it hits the point of like just that pure explosion, like you said, now I understand that I've done that. If I've pulled you aside and said like, "Hey, let's talk,"
Mhm.
that's my healthy way of taking responsibility, making sure it doesn't get to that point.
Right.
So as long as that conversation is had, I feel better. And that's a good way to like resolve whatever's happening. I've done the best I can to communicate what's happening, what that pet peeve is, why it's a accumulated level of disrespect.
Yes, and communication definitely goes both ways. And I will admit that there have been times that, for example, I'm going to tell on myself. My mom, because I do tech support for my mom's business, will send me an email or a text message asking for me to do something. And 9 times out of 10, I just do it. I don't always remember to tell her that the task is completed, which is a pet peeve on her end because then she doesn't know whether or not it's resolved, even though I know it's resolved. So we had a conversation actually earlier today about something that was on the automatic yearly annual renewal for her business. And it went on the wrong credit card. I remember having the conversation with her. I'm pretty sure I had a conversation with her prior to the renewal. I can't be 100% sure. So I will own up, I may not have said something. but we got it taken care of. But it's one of those that it's a reminder that the communication with anyone that you're having a pet peeve with is really important, because again, we don't know what else is going on in their world. We don't know what else is going on in our world. They don't know what's going on in our world. I didn't know my mom was having a bad day when I didn't respond, and then found out, oh, wow. Okay. Whenever I complete a task, how would you like to be kept informed? Do you want an email? Do you want a text message? Do you want both? What can I do to make sure this doesn't happen again?
Yeah. And thank you for sharing that. Because I think like I know a lot of people who have done something very similar.
Mm-hmm.
And it took them until the person blew up for them to realize, oh, I really need to do that. And
Well, it's the second half of delegating. Well, managers are taught to delegate tasks to whoever they're overseeing.
right.
As those of us who receive tasks, it's our jobs to let whoever told us to do it, let them know that it's done. And not assume that they can tell by looking, by reading an email, by whatever.
Right.
Because like tech support wise, a lot of tasks are done behind the scenes. Nobody sees it.
Right.
So remembering that if I ask somebody to do something for me, it's my job to follow up with them if I haven't heard anything in a reasonable amount of time. But it's also their responsibility to tell me that it's completed. So then that way that's checked off of both of our lists and we can move on with our day. Because otherwise it's still kind of sitting there.
Right. And the communication level of like, how do you want me to tell you? When do you want me to tell you? Do you want me to give it to you at the end of the day in a list form? Do you want me to message you when it's done? Like it depends on the priority list when it comes to like very detailed. And this is like the project management side, right?
Yeah. And it's not just with tech support, for example. It's my son travels to the Eastern Shore, which is only an hour drive. But the request is, let me know when you're on the road. Let me know when you got there safe. Normal mom request.
Yeah, I've been better at that with my mom.
There have been a handful of times where he's forgotten to message me. And I will admit that my request to follow up was not that great, because there was one day I was having a really bad day and I hadn't heard from him. And my response said, my message to him was something along the lines of, I'm assuming you're having such a great time you forgot to text your mom.
How'd that go?
Now, thankfully, my son knows me. Sarcasm at all. And his response was, he went through a time loop and will message me when he comes back. I'm like, okay, I was being snarky. I apologize for being snarky. Thank you for letting me know that you were safe. Yeah. So because he and I have built that kind of relationship that I have given him full permission that if I'm being snarky, call me out on it. As long as I'll give you grace because I don't know what's going on in your world. But if it's really, really, really bad, I'm going to pull you aside and be like, hey, breathe. Tell me what you need. So it, but again, that's the kind of relationship that he and I have built over 21 years. He's been around almost 22 years. Oh my God, my son is old, which means I'm old.
It was funny. It got to the point where I was like, Mom, I gave you my location. I just gave you my location. I'm sorry. I love you. Just, you can stalk me on my location. Just whatever. Kind of got to that point.
And there may come a time when it, when he was younger, it was very much that point. But he's got his own life now. So part of me is like crying because, oh my gosh, my baby boy is all grown up. The other part of me is like, I think I did a pretty good job preparing him for life as an adult because he is in a much better position now than I was at 21. So I think I did pretty good. So I'm not gonna stress about it. But he calls me out on it too because like I'm gonna go visit my sister at the end of the month. And even though he's gonna be working because he's not able to go on the trip with me, when he was here the other day, he's like, don't forget to text me when you leave, text me when you get there. You know, because that's the part of the rules that we cultivated that work for us.
That's good.
And also just the fact that we're not afraid to call each other out on our shit.
Yeah, that's I appreciate it when people do it in a way that's like kind of mutually respectful yet funny.
Yeah. Equally sarcastic.
Yeah, like you meet each other there and it is actually a form of endearment. And like it actually means like, no, I trust you. I appreciate you this much that this jest isn't meant to be mean. It really is like just our language. You should see how my sisters and I talk.
Oh, I can only imagine with some of the messages that go back and forth between me and my sisters. Not nearly as sarcastic as the ones that go back and forth between me and my son, but they have their own separate flavor of sarcasm, I shall say.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like it's not just sarcasm.
That's true. There are times it's not just sarcasm with sisters.
Yeah, it's the hey, I'll boost you up because yeah, you feel bad. All right. So there was this one time, we're gonna talk about this really quickly. Small little rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
There was this one time I was nervous to tell my sisters that I ran into a glass window or a door.
Oh, your concussion like 2 years ago.
Yeah, like I was terrified to like actually tell them because I thought the group chat was just gonna blow up with funny remarks,
Mm-hmm.
as one would.
Right?
Because it's, you know, instead they were all like, ooh, like so like incredibly supportive. They were all like empathizing and they were just like, oh, I've seen that. That's awful. Oh, it's happened to me. It hurts. Oh my gosh, I've seen somebody break their nose on wood. And I'm like hearing it, and I'm just like, okay, I didn't expect you all to be that supportive of me.
And thank you. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate it. And thank you. So apparently there are times when the snarky, funny sarcasm doesn't need to be there.
Well, okay, just to wrap up the sister conversation.
Okay, please.
I found a sign and I bought 3 copies. Well, actually, rephrase. I bought 3 copies of it. So I have one for me and one for each of my sisters. My mom saw the sign and she bought 4 copies for her and her 3 sisters. And I can't read the sign from where I'm sitting, but it's something along the lines of talking to my sisters is like therapy. And sometimes talking to my sisters, I need therapy. It's something along those lines. I know I don't have the wording correctly, exact, but
No.
it's true because, you know, there are times that our sisters give us exactly what we need, or siblings, I should say, in general, give us exactly what we need. And there are other times they drive us crazy.
Yeah. Talk about like they know your pet peeves.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
But so do our kids, and so do our parents,
Yeah.
and so do our best friends.
Yeah. You see, yeah. This is why I said I'm grateful for my parents because my gosh, that you see that pet peeve that comes out.
Yeah. So, but on that note, because we are coming up on time for the episode, express gratitude when you can, or correction, express gratitude daily.
Yeah.
That's more important. I like that one better.
Yeah.
So that's all I got.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, yes, if you do the gratitude things before you go into anything where you feel heated, like, you know, because I was like, I know we're about to get heated with the second question. So we got to balance on the first. it is really crucial that sometimes when you're in a state of gratitude, you can have those hard discussions, those hard conversations, so that you don't go into implosion, explosion mode all
Right.
the time. So, with that in mind,
That's your 2 cents.
that's my 2 cents. Name your gratitudes before you chop someone's head off. Better yet, don't do that. Like, stop that.
Better
Don't-
yet, just practice your gratitudes daily and we'll just leave it at that.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank
Gratefully,
you.
honestly, authentically, love you all.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.